Welcome to the Ouzo Vibe, the podcast to unlock your next Greek adventure.
Welcome to another The Ouzo Vibe podcast. Today we're diving into something many of you have asked about based on all the articles and notes you've sent us. We're talking summer nightlife on the Greek island of Paros.
Ah, yes, Paros, right in the Cyclades, and it's really blown up as a summer holiday spot, hasn't it? The sources we've looked through definitely paint a picture of a very vibrant scene.
Often compared to Mykonos, actually. But, and this seems important for the material, Paros comes across as maybe a bit less intense and definitely easier on the wallet.
Absolutely, that's a consistent theme. Similar buzz, maybe, but less frantic, and more affordable. So what we want to do today is really sift through this info. Where should you actually go out if you're on Paros this summer, according to these sources?
Exactly. We'll look at the two main towns, Naiousa and Parikia. They seem to have pretty different vibes. And then we'll touch on some other bits mentioned, like beach clubs and even popping over to Antiparos for the night.
Yeah, Antiparos gets a mention too. It's about getting past just the names and understanding the feel of these places based on what the sources describe. So you can figure out what fits your kind of night out.
Okay, let's get into it. Naiousa first. It seems to be flagged pretty consistently as the heart of Paros nightlife. What's the general feel there?
Right, Naiousa. The consensus is it's definitely the more upscale end of things. Think chic cocktail bars, proper clubs. It's got that reputation, People tend to dress up a bit more. The energy ramps up later on.
So, a bit sophisticated. But the sources also make a point of saying it's not like, say, Ibiza, right? Not just wall-to-wall mega clubs.
Exactly. That's a key distinction in the material. You've got great bars, but if you want serious dancing, you're looking at specific nightclubs. And something that comes up again and again is how incredibly busy it gets in peak summer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, expect queues for the popular spots, and the sources even suggest making reservations sometimes if you want to guarantee getting in. It's buzzing.
Good tip. Reservations needed that tells you something.
Yeah.
So, given that kind of busy, maybe slightly dressier vibe, where do the sources point for starting the evening? Like for a good cocktail?
Well, several places get repeat mentions. There's Cosmos Cocktail Bar right in the center. The sources really praise the bartenders there, skilled, creative, making original drinks.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and they apparently can whip something up based on your favorite spirit, which suggests, they know their stuff. It's described as having a more relaxed vibe initially, maybe good for easing into the night.
Custom cocktails sound like a great start. What about Sante Cocktail Bar? That name seems familiar from the notes.
Sante, yeah. Described as a big local favorite. Sounds lovely. Actually, it's in a courtyard under a big tree. And the sources rave about the cocktails. They even compare them favorably to top bars in Athens, which is, quite the compliment.
Wow, okay. High praise.
Definitely. It gets really lively, apparently, but again, that warning, it gets very busy. That courtyard must be prime real estate.
Athens-level cocktails on Paros. Interesting. Then there's Itria, also mentioned in Naiousa town. What's the story there?
Itria comes across as having a great cocktail menu, colorful place, relaxing feel. Friendly service, too. And importantly, the sources note the cocktails are pretty affordable, relatively speaking. Good beer selection, too, apparently.
Affordable's good.
And, this is a nice touch mentioned in the material, they bring out complimentary snacks. Chips, nuts, olives, that kind of thing. Sounds like a solid, welcoming choice.
Can't beat free snacks.
Hi.
Okay, thinking about the setting.
Yeah.
Come Back gets mentioned for its location, right on the water.
Yeah, Come Back is right near the Old Port. Beautiful spot by the sea. But what's interesting is, despite the killer view, the drinks are flagged as being really good too, not just relying on location.
Right.
One source specifically mentioned a delicious coffee Negroni, which sounds interesting. Shows they're trying things. It apparently gets quite lively later, so good for a pre-dinner drink or settling in for the night.
Coffee Negroni. Intriguing. Any other spots highlighted for views while you sip?
Salty Cocktail Bar is another one, also right in Naiousa Old Port. Again, the sources focus on the incredible views you get with your drink. Seems like it starts more as a sit-down place, but picks up energy as the evening goes on.
Okay.
And if you're purely focused on catching the sunset with a cocktail near the harbor, the names Mesistra Bar and Carnaggio pop up in the material as great choices for that specific moment.
Plenty of sunset spots then, so we've got the bars covered. But you mentioned the real dancing is more in the clubs.
Yeah.
Where are the main party spots in Naiousa, according to the sources?
Acanthus nightclub. This one is consistently flagged as basically the only proper dedicated nightclub in Naiousa. which means, as the sources stress, it's always busy. Expect a line, expect an entrance fee, though, that often includes a drink. It's the main destination for that classic clubbing experience.
The one and only, basically.
Got it.
What about Dodo? There was a hint about that place being quite extreme.
Dodo, yeah. Sounds like it's for the serious party people. One source mentioned seeing the parties still going strong at, like, 8:30 in the morning.
Wow. 8:30 a.m.
Yeah. They suggest it's the place people head to when everywhere else is closing down, for dancing way, way into the next day.
Okay, Dodo is for the marathon runners then. And Barbarossa. That name carries some weight, especially the restaurant part.
Barbarossa, yes. Particularly the restaurant area, which transforms later. It's famous, according to the sources, as the home of the napkin party.
The napkin party.
Exactly. It's described as this really high-energy, fun thing where napkins fly through the air when the music peaks, people dancing everywhere. You definitely need reservations. And it's noted as the place to be and be seen. So expect a bit of a scene, a fashionable crowd looking for that specific lively experience.
That napkin party sounds like quite the phenomenon based on these descriptions. Are there other places for dancing that aren't maybe full-on clubs?
Vulevu Rooftop Bar and Somaripa Consolado are mentioned specifically for rooftop dancing. They add to that energetic Nausa vibe. The sources even mention dancing on tables can happen in some spots. Fun till the early hours, basically. Another layer to the Nausa scene.
Right. Okay, that paints a vivid picture of Nausa, upscale, energetic, need to know where to go for specific things like proper clubbing or napkin throwing. Let's switch over to Parikia now, the capital. How do the sources describe the nightlife atmosphere there?
Parikia generally comes across as more laid back than Nausa. It's the main port, the capital town, so you get a more mixed crowd. You know, locals, backpackers, different kinds of holiday makers all hanging out. The bars are described as sort of evolving through the night, starting calmer, building energy more naturally.
So less pressure to dress up, maybe more just chill.
That's exactly the difference the sources highlight. Nausa can be quite dressy. Dressed to the nines was one phrase used. Parikia is described as completely chill.
Yeah.
You can rock up much more casually and fit right in.
Good to know. Definitely impacts the packing list. So for experiencing that Parikia vibe, what are the recommended spots?
Well, like Nausa, sunset drinks are a big thing. Evinos Bar gets a strong recommendation in the material as one of the best places in Parikia for that. Described as charming, with a big choice of really good cocktails.
Charming, cocktails, sunset. Sounds like a winning combo.
It does, yeah. Bebop is another one flagged for sunset views. It's a rooftop bar, great vistas, especially for wandering the Castle Laneways area. Sources say it has sort of lounge club vibes, chill music. They do light meals too.
Rooftop bars are always nice.
And Nemo Bar is another seafront option mentioned for sunset drinks and food. Noted for having seating right by the water under a sort of green vine roof. Seems very pleasant, very natural.
Lots of scenic choices then. What about later, when things liven up? Where do people head for more energy in Parikia, according to the sources?
The Dubliner Paros sounds like a key spot. It's described as really popular, and it functions more like a club. What's interesting from the material is that it apparently has 3 different stages playing different kinds of music.
Oh, 3 stages.
Yeah, so quite a bit of variety in one place. There's an entrance fee, but like a campus in Nausa, it usually gets you a drink. Seems like the main spot for diverse late-night dancing in Parikia.
Multiple music options is smart, keeps everyone happy. Any other central spots mentioned for just soaking up the atmosphere, maybe doing some people watching?
Sativa Music Bar comes up. It's right in the heart of Parikia. The sources point out its outdoor seating is perfect for watching the world go by, observing the nightlife. They also mention a specialty drink, the Mastijito Mastija Mojito. So unique offerings there too.
A mastijito. Interesting local twist.
Yeah. And Pirate Bar is another one in the center mentioned for people watching. Has seating inside and out. Their cocktails are noted as being nicely presented, and the vibe is relaxing. Maybe somewhere to ease into the evening.
Okay, so Sativa and Pirate Bar for watching the scene unfold. What if you're more of a beer person?
Hops and Colors gets the shout out for craft beer fans. They apparently have a selection from all over Greece. Sources describe it as laid back, near the water for sunset views. And interestingly, you can bring your own food. Adds to that relaxed feel.
Bring your own food. Nice.
Oh, and Castro is another name listed for sunset bars up in the Castle Laneways area. Another option to check out for views up there.
Gotcha. So Parikia really does sound different from Nausa based on these sources. More approachable, maybe? Diverse options, bars that build energy, catering to different tastes from craft beer to Multi-stage clubs?
Exactly. It's presented as a real contrast. Different flavors of nightlife available on the same island.
Now, beyond the towns, the sources mention beach clubs. Are they a major part of the nightlife, or is it a different kind of thing?
The sources clarify that, yeah, there are beach clubs, but they're scattered around, not concentrated in one party zone. And a key point made is that the vibe is generally more chilled out than, say, Mykonos beach clubs.
Why?
Less about intense parties, more relaxed. Music is there, but maybe not the absolute main focus everywhere.
So manage your expectations. Not every beach club is going to be a massive rave, but there's one exception that keeps coming up.
Yes, Punda Beach Club. Consistently highlighted as the most popular beach bar and the one that does lean into the party atmosphere. It's on the East Coast, known for live DJs, lively parties. And the sources mention it has a saltwater swimming pool in the middle. Sounds like a feature that adds to the party vibe.
A pool in the middle, okay. Punda's the spot for that specific beach party energy then. But what if you want the opposite? Just a chill beach bar?
Rebel Beach Bar is mentioned as the contrast. The sources specifically say it's not a party bar, just a nice, relaxed place for cocktails, lunch. They even point out vegan options are available, suggesting it's more focused on being a pleasant seaside spot with good food and drink than a party scene.
Great, so choices within the beach scene too.
Yeah.
Okay, lastly, the sources mention nearby Paros. Is it actually feasible to go there for a night out from Paros?
Surprisingly, yeah, the sources note Antiparos is quite lively for its size and specifically worth checking out if dancing is high on your list.
For really, a whole different island for dancing. What are the key spots there?
On the main square in Antiparos town, Lime Bar gets mentioned for excellent cocktails. Then there's Boogaloo, which starts as a bar but is apparently key in turning that main square into more of a party area later on. And when those central spots wind down, Dancing Club Mill is apparently the place to go for proper late-night dancing.
So a little ecosystem focused on dancing and getting back. Is that tricky?
That's the crucial practical detail the sources provide. They confirm the ferries between Paros and Antiparos run pretty late up until 1:30 a.m. is mentioned specifically, which makes it totally doable to spend a good chunk of the evening, do some dancing on Antiparos, and still get back to Paros.
1:30 a.m. ferry, that's key information. Makes Antiparos a genuine option. All right, we've covered a lot of places. Let's quickly recap some practical points from the sources. Cost comes up a lot as a plus compared to Mykonos.
It really does, repeatedly noted as more affordable. The sources give rough figures. Club entry maybe 10-15 euros, often with a drink. Cocktails around 10-15 euros, maybe less during happy hour, like 7 or 8. Beer on tap around 4 euros, definitely more accessible.
Good to know. And the dress code difference we mentioned, Nayusa, Dressier, Parikia, super chill, that's useful.
Absolutely. Helps you pack.
What about getting around Paros late at night? If you're staying in one town but go out in the other.
Yeah, this is flagged as really important logistically in the sources. The public buses, they stop running. They don't go all night. So if you party in a different town from your base, you're looking at taxis. And the sources warn they can be expensive and also just hard to find, especially in high season.
Right. Limited taxis, peak season,
Yeah.
could be tricky.
Exactly. So the strong suggestion from the material is either plan your night out in the town while you're staying or be ready for a potentially pricey or difficult journey home.
Definitely something to factor in. Stay local or budget for the taxi hunt.
Pretty much. It just highlights that while Paros has this amazing range of nightlife chic bars, relaxed pubs, clubs, beach spots, you need to think about the practicalities of moving around late based on these sources.
Okay, so pulling it all together from the sources, Paros offers a really varied summer nightlife. You've got Nayusa, more upscale, maybe you need reservations, specific clothes for dancing, dressier vibe. Then Parikia, more relaxed, mixed crowd, bars that build energy, casual feel, plus beach clubs from party, Punda to chill, rebel, and even Antiparos as a late-night dancing option accessible by ferry.
Seems like there really is something for most tastes, doesn't it? Whether you want fancy cocktails, a local pub feel, or dancing till dawn. And all, as the sources emphasize, generally more affordable than Mykonos.
Which brings us to a really interesting thought looking at all this material. The sources paint such distinct pictures of Nayusa and Parikia nightlife. Nayusa with its concentrated, slightly exclusive scene, Parikia more spread out, casual, mixed. Does choosing where you go out actually tell you something deeper about the character of that part of Paros itself? Is the nightlife a reflection of the town's broader identity?
That's a fascinating angle. Does the vibe of the bars and clubs mirror the overall feel of Nayusa versus Parikia?
And maybe a final thought, considering how popular Paros is becoming. How long will these distinct nightlife scenes stay so different? Will Nausa and Parikia start to blend more over time? Something to ponder, maybe, as you check out these places yourself.
Good question for the future.
Well, thanks for joining us for this look into the Paros nightlife scene, all based on the source material you shared. Hopefully this gives you a good starting point for planning those summer nights out.
Kali Nikta. Enjoy Paros.